Everybody hear that? All right, welcome. Welcome to the Hope County Board of Education monthly meeting. It is now Tuesday, June the 9th, 2026. It is now 6 p.m. Captain, can you please?
I will. Yes. Let us bow our heads. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our life, health, and strength. I ask, Lord, that you come into this room, God, and have your way. Be with us, God, as we make decisions for the students, staff of Hope County. God, we ask that you just keep us, guide us, and direct us into making good decisions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right, thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
Can we go ahead and get a
Yes.
motion to approve the agenda?
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
And second.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Okay, passes. Okay. Sheriff's report, I really don't have anything other than nothing but positive news. I want to thank again the Dr. Spells and his staff for all the great work that they do behind the scenes. I don't think anybody realizes how much pressure the board puts on the superintendent. I can just imagine the pressure that he puts on his staff to make sure that they meet the needs of the board. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you to your great staff for continuing to support the board's mission. We've had a lot since the last meeting. Would any of my colleagues like to have anything that, I know we all don't attend to the same events, but anybody like to tell us anything? No?
I'm just proud of the students that graduated.
That was a major
Very,
event.
Very proud of them. Like Dr. Spill says last night at a meeting that he felt like a proud papa of all the students that graduated, so I was impressed.
Yeah.
The students
Yeah, it was good. I want to say that I think Mr. Heath, Dr. Heath, Mr. Heath for really taking an opportunity and time to appreciate his staff and the bus drivers. They put up with a lot. And, you know, we don't know behind the scenes and the things that go on and what, these children will be saying and doing, and the bus drivers got to put up with that.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, bus drivers got to put up with that. So I thank you, Mr. Heath, so appreciate the bus drivers.
All right. And superintendent's report?
Thank you, Mr. Castellano. Just want to say that I was very happy with graduation, the 400 close to 500 students that graduated. It's always a great night. I consider it the Super Bowl of the year for educators. And just like the Super Bowl, it's always in a warm weather place. It's just a great night. Just wanted to mention too to the board, I mentioned it last night at another meeting about our free summer meals, and I gave everybody a flyer, and I've given it to some of the churches to put up. And we're also gonna put it up on the website. And this is free to students 3 to 18 of Hope County. You don't necessarily have to be Hope County students, but students that live in Hope County. We'll have it at Don Steve from Monday through Thursday, and Hope County High from Monday through Thursday. And breakfast is 8 to 9, lunch is 11 to 12, and meals are served no cost to all students. And you have a copy of the flyer to hang up or share. It's very important in these difficult times to make sure our students still get meals. And the dates too, this is June 8th to July 31st. Also, our summer reading camp started Monday.
Yes. Excuse me. Well, yesterday was the first day of summer reading camp for our second and third graders. I was at Don Steve where it's being hosted for all the kids across the county. And they were so excited. It was like the first day of school. They're walking in with their backpacks. Some of them had new backpacks ready to go. And so we're excited about that. On the 18th, we're doing a mystery read, and we're inviting people to come in and read to the students. And so we're excited about that, and the kids are enjoying it so far.
So we're happy about that. I'm gonna miss the mystery read, so
Yeah, I know.
so I'll catch
We're
up
gonna
with them
invite
next
you guys.
time. We did our budget appeal today, so, made our presentation, so I'll wait for confirmation or any updates, and I'll make sure that I share those. Rising Stars, Alpha.
Yeah, so Rising Stars is our upcoming kindergarten summer program that begins in July. July 8th is the first day of that program, and it'll run until July 30th. We're excited about that because our numbers have increased for this year.
Oh.
That's something to celebrate. You know, parents have to provide transportation, and so that's a hindrance sometime. And as we are collecting data, we notice that that is still a problem for some parents, but the numbers have increased. And we're excited about that. We're gonna be hosting at 4 schools as our host schools and combining schools. So Sandy Grove Elementary School, West Hook Elementary School, Don Steed, and Upchurch will be our host schools for the Rising Stars program. So that'll begin in July.
Had we thought about, or done any research about the transportation and what we could do or how we can sort of make way?
Yes, we've had several conversations about it, the legal standpoint of it also,
Okay.
because they're upcoming kindergartners, they're not enrolled yet. And so that has been a conversation, and we're still having those conversations just to see what we can do. But of course, a cost is associated with that
That's
also.
right,
So we're trying to work those things out, possibly have that conversation for next school year.
Any more questions?
We're closing out our budgets for 25-26.
Okay.
And we got to June 30th to do that, and we're working on a district-wide handbook, because there was those discrepancies from building to building. So we think we can, we do a district-wide handbook, and we won't have, you know, one set of rules at Don Steve and another schools. And then the high school ribbon ceremony, we're hoping to get that planned. But I want to make sure that it's, you know, the furniture's in there, and that we can do some tours when it happens. I don't wanna just do it from the outside. I wanna make sure the building is ready to rock and roll before we do it. But I don't want it too late either. I wanna do it before the teachers get in there. So we're looking at August, but we still gotta wait on that letter of occupancy.
Well, we should be able to fix that moving forward after today, so hopefully that'll be. Anything else, Dr. Swift?
Thank you.
All right, and now the public comment.
So we have one, and Ms. Sutherland has signed up for public comment. Ms. Sutherland, you are welcome to speak public comment, or you're welcome to request. Oh my God. Welcome back, Grace.
No, Lieutenant Davis told me to sign up.
Okay, well, we don't. I don't, shoot, were you watching my face for like, oh my gosh, what am I about to say?
It was just.
Okay, well.
I was gonna say, I was gonna have to make a new policy.
No.
I was ready, but, all right. Well, then there are no public comment speakers this evening.
All right, consent agenda. Everybody got a chance to look at the, okay.
Did you make the motion?
Are you waiting on us to make a motion? Oh, okay, I make a motion that we approve of the minutes for May 14th, 2026.
Second.
Okay, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, okay, passes.
Okay,
School board policy second read.
I make a motion that we approve the school board policy second read as well.
Second.
Okay, those in favor, say aye. Aye, passes. I just wanna make a little note, so the public is made aware, especially those that are probably listening to us on, YouTube, okay? Just because the board approves something doesn't mean that the, policy committee cannot bring something back. It's a simple process, contact the superintendent, then the superintendent directs somebody, and then the, policy chair, committee, which is Miss Catherine Blue, she would most likely put it on the agenda for the committee, and then the committee members will look into whatever suggestion is. So while we do approve things, unless it's an action item and it happens immediately after it's an action item, Policies are subject to, review based on recommendation from a board member or staff, teachers, the public, parents, whomever, okay? So, alright. Okay, and, administration, part, information, high school project update.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's getting closer. As Dr. Spell said, getting real close. And we're already looking at a ribbon cutting in August here, so before you know it, you'll all be sitting in that building conducting your meetings. I know everyone's anxious for that. So, as done for the past couple years, the format's the same. We'll talk about some about the building, what's been done to date. To there, we'll review the schedule and things, and then the financial report. So to start with, on the exterior photo, next slide, please. So you can see at the entrance, they're getting everything cleaned up across the front and on the building there, finishing out some of the detailing on the lower canopy. The canopy connecting the two sides of the campus is installed, and the lighting is complete in there. So it's starting to really, really come together when you drive by, and you've seen that many days, I know, to date. Next slide, please. This is a view from along the front where the classroom wing is. They got the sod down, and you can see the surface mounted irrigation to make sure in this nice, hot, sunny weather it doesn't burn up and stay brown, that it has a chance to root in. You do not have a permanent irrigation system in there, so what's on top will be removed once it's fully rooted and established. The planting and the bed of mulch against the building is done. You can see kind of at the bottom part of it. And as you know, with anything, those plants will eventually grow larger. Next slide, please. Inside the building, this is once you get past in the lobby, you're looking at the large open commons area. To the back, far back is the cafeteria. To the right, you can see the doors to the gym. Looks a lot different from a long time ago with all the ceiling panel grids in, all the paint finishes applied and everything. They got some floor protection down just to make it easier so people don't make a mess of things. Next slide, please. This is that same area looking back towards the entry. You can see the little stage platform in the middle where the board meetings will be conducted in the future. The final graphics are up on the wall with big bucks right there next to the gym, and the glass you can see right into the gym there. Next slide. This is looking over towards the cafeteria area, and again, the final graphic up on the wall in there. You can see the big curtain wall complete, looking out over where the exterior dining area is going to be. Next slide, please. Looking into the academic wing, this is the open 2 stories common space where your media center is going to be there on the floor, and you see a perspective back towards the main entry in this angle. So to the right, you can see stairs. There's 2 sets of open stairs that connect to the 2nd floor in this space. Next slide, please. The graphic for the buck came out incredible. Looks great on the wall there next to the seated learning stairs. This is looking at the 2nd floor down the open area. You now get a sense of the finish. You have the glass railing or glass panels and stainless steel railing system in the luxury vinyl tile floor down. So it's really getting closer to finish. Next slide, please. This is looking back that same direction to the learning stair. They're purposely leaving it last because they're trying to direct all their traffic in that direction on the stairs. So they're leaving the stairs is one of the last things they'll finish out to avoid any damage the contractors might do. Next slide, please. So this gives you a view back towards there to the learning stair and the front set of stairs. To the right is your student support services on the 2nd floor, and then to the left is the row of classrooms. Next slide, please. This is in the very back of the building. You have these learning common opportunities with the benches built in, and there'll be a lot of furniture in here. It's going to be a very active and engaging space. You can see some of the accent color changes in the walls and also in the floors. Next slide, please. They started putting the wood paneling details up on the walls. This is on the first floor corridor where they started and then working their way around to the 2-story area. A lot of progress being made in that frosted in glass. That's the workroom space, and that's also done that way for privacy. Next slide, please. Down the athletic wing, hallway that leads towards the health classrooms, the wrestling room, the training room, and the locker rooms. The graphic lettering is up on for hope. I can't read it from this far. I know it's strong in the foreground, but all the lettering's up down the hallways. They complete finishes down there. Next slide, please. Gymnasium floor is down. They were getting it ready to sand and stain next. Bleachers are in place, as you can see. The graphics are up on the walls. You can see the banners in the background. Really starting to look like that high school gym that you saw from the initial computer renderings. Next slide, please. And this is just a perspective of looking from the floor level. Next slide, please. Classrooms, this is a typical classroom. They're going through their final punch items in there to get them ready for the architect and myself to go through and give it a final punch out. So they are really getting them cleaned up, ready, all the little details attended to in them, the mechanical system balancing, getting the air distribution in every space correct. So a lot going on. Next slide, please. Same thing to the science labs. They're getting all the finishing of setting all the sinks, making sure all the casework is installed as well as fume hoods, et cetera, going in there. So the progress of work across the building was from the other end of the classrooms to the science labs being the last part is the flow of work. Next slide, please. So as we've talked about in the past, always there's 2 phases. This first phase of occupying this building with the new dates that we've been talking with the design or the construction team about. They're looking at substantial completion at the end of July, pending the resolution of certain items that the board, I understand, is going to be talking about. The final completion by contract would be 30 days later. And then at the end of summer, once the new school year commences, they're looking to start the tear down and abatement of the existing buildings, get it ready for the additional retention pond, tennis courts, bus drop-off loop, and staff parking. And all that work we're looking at to be done in February, with the final being in March. So the entire project is anticipated being done March of the next year. That's when we would hope to close out the contract with everybody. And then you move on to your next projects. So staff will begin moving in items and things at the in July, usually typically around the last week, it looks like, by the schedule of July, and be done with everything moving over at the end of the first week of August. Next slide, please. So from their contract, the contractors, about 86% of it being paid. That is consistent with the progress of the work to date. As far as the contingencies, the numbers are there. The contractor's use is just over 91%. The design contingency for a long time has gone well over, it's 221%. You still remain on the positive on the owner contingency of just over 22%. So your starting contingency was just over 2.4 million. Right now remaining, the contingency is just under 1 million. However, in there's a lot of potential impacts that we're reviewing. One of the items you're talking about today is one of them, as well as some other items. That's about 625,000. And if all those get approved for the value they were submitted in, that would leave $321,000 remaining in contingency. So still good. That's the important news. Now for the financial report, the other good news to this, next slide please, is again, the highlighted in the lighter color, those are the values that changed since the last time I presented this to you. On the far right, these are unencumbered funds that were budgeted that are remaining available. They have not been used yet. So that the unencumbered funds total about $1.9 million. So there's still funding in the project, and as we've talked about in the past, is we know there's additional work and items at that campus that need to be done. And that staff is identifying many of those items. And once we get closer to knowing what that true final cost is gonna be, if any contingency money is left, if any of these need to be used for other items, to bring back to the board recommendations on what additional work can be done. And then let the board deliberate about it and decide which items it wishes to get done with the remaining funds. So that still remains the plan in place to do with this project. Again, financially, it's fine. It's sitting well. Completion, again, we're all frustrated about that, but it will be ready for students. That's the other good news. With that, I did a lot of talking. I'll be quiet. And if you have any questions that you have about any of this.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do. Do you know what the final seating capacity is for the cafeteria space?
I do not have that in my fingertips, but I can get that
Can
to
you get it
Dr.
for the
Hunt.
gym capacity?
I don't have, they're on the plans. I have to be in my computer to pull them up.
If I may, I think that the total areas for the seating capacity of the cafeteria is right at 300 students, a little bit more than that. I think it was close to 200 on both sides. And then if I'm not mistaken, the bleacher area, the gym capacity was right at 1,700.
Okay, I also had another question. Can you go back to the slide that shows the learning stairs?
So one that had the bucket, the logo on it.
That one's the one I need to see. Can you zoom in on that?
She cannot zoom.
Okay, the top of the learning stairs. Oh, actually, yep. Are they gonna get a railing, or is that part of what's not being completed? This right here.
Oh, if you could go back one more slide, I think you can see it.
I don't think you can see it on the other
Or it
side.
might be on the corner. Let me see
Go
here.
back. Yeah, that's the corner.
Oh, no, I cut that off in the view. Okay, to the right of that is open for the top, because that's a seating platform up at the top floor.
That needs to have this right there.
That top is also, like I said, a seating spot. in that
Yes, it
learning
needs to
center.
have it, how this goes right here on the other side of these, it needs to be right there.
We will get a cost to do that.
Yes, I had asked about it when I had toured it, but I worked at Hokai for 12 years and there's no way that's gonna work like that.
You saying, are you saying, having like a handrail, where the buck, silver buck, is that what you're
No, at the top of the stairs, like, so say a fight broke out right there. God willing, it doesn't, but it may. Like, let's be real. That's the bath, those are girls and boys bathrooms at the top right there. It's like, I don't wanna say it, it's not very far, it's like not that much space. If a fight broke out right there, it only
Somebody
takes
fall
one
down.
person getting pushed for them to fall right down those stairs. So
So you're saying the same way it is on
Yes,
that
ma'am.
side, you want it on that?
yeah, just kind of, yes, exactly.
Plexiglass.
Just right across the top of that, the clear. It looks beautiful this way, I just think that that's was begging.
Are you talking about this area here?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about,
The top seat.
yes, the top seat. So right here, so like, you see how this is exactly like this is?
Right.
This needs to be right here as well. Because they're gonna be walking right here, there's nothing to stop them from playing around, pushing somebody down.
So which is the actual?
And that's a big drop right here also, because it's
Which is the actual walk-through area for those steps right there, John? Is it the whole thing, or is it just a gray area?
The steps are to the right.
Yeah, the gray
The
part going
gray
down.
are the
Yeah.
steps.
Yes, those are the stairs. Everything to
see
the
it.
left towards that wall is the seated learning, and that's
I
where
see
you
what
walk
you're
across the
saying
seat.
now.
And her concern is at the very top, they have that as also a seat space, but the concern is that if something happens at the very top, someone could fall down there. So we'll get with the architect and design team and get a cost to add that railing there.
Come
Okay.
on, Jesse.
All right,
Any more questions?
Can I continue?
I have another question.
I'm just kidding.
The SRO office, The SRO
It
office,
is
are you
gonna
aware, do you know where the SRO office is?
Down in the front administration area.
Okay, staff had asked me if we had considered that having some type of frosted glass because they have to conduct searches.
That could be added, absolutely. It's a application to the glass anyway, so we could do that. Absolutely.
If that's all right with anybody else.
Say,
What do you mean by
okay,
that?
say that again. It said, my question, so you're talking about searches, is the searches only gonna be done in that location? LT?
The SRO.
Yeah, so, you know, we have those files, then if we have people to come in and give us confidential information, you know, everybody don't need to see who's in our office. And then if we got
But are-
investigators that come out and they're investigating something, or they got a student in there talking to that student, then people don't need to be able to see what's going on.
Can we go to the slide that showed someone else's office that had frosted glass?
There's a
Just to
view
see if
from
that's
the
what's gonna work.
second floor that looks back towards the center stage. It was one of the early slides. That one, I believe. Nope, go back one, two, go back two. Okay, so the
There's a
SRO
close-up of
office
it,
is,
actually.
just to the right there. Next to the word administration on the white column, down there's the SRO, and it is an all glass
Yeah, that's.
facade like most of them. But it's very easy, we can take care of that.
Can you scroll
Okay.
to the other, there's like a close-up of a room that's got
Yeah.
frosted glass. Yeah, the teacher
Four
works.
slides down,
Yes, where she is.
Because it was upstairs.
It's right there.
there it is.
Is that sufficient? It is sufficient.
Except for the door.
How much this gonna cost?
The door will get finished.
Oh, we gotta do it though. Gotta check our students.
All right, and Chad happy with that. All right, sounds good.
Is this the is this the
The,
office?
No, that
Oh,
is
so this is
the
a
teacher
counseling office?
workroom,
What is it?
That's a teacher
Teacher-
workroom.
Teachers workroom. Oh, they can.
where they're also gonna do
Yeah.
PLC and they might have student information on there, so that all got opaque.
so, does anybody have any more questions? Alright, so before we go into try to uninstall everything, I would like to get some additional options, like maybe tin paper or something. Because if those windows are already there, that's not gonna be cheap.
It's just a film that they put up. Is that a film?
Yes, so,
It's just a film.
Okay. Just wanna make sure we're not talking about
No, it's just. a
Uninstall.
film.
Installing
we're
windows.
not talking about
Looks like
ripping out
that. That's
systems.
good for the
and
SRO.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a 3M product.
Anything else? Any more questions, anyone?
You got
Okay.
one?
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Next item is the RFP needs-based grant. I'm sorry, Dr. Han, before we go on. Let's not wait until next meeting for that information that is due to us regarding what, Ms. Brown asked.
Oh, yes, no, we'll get,
Let's get that
I'll get
into
accurate
the
numbers
board
to Dr. Hunt so he can share them
as
with
soon
you.
as possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Okay?
That sounds
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. Go ahead, Doctor.
So good evening. This presentation is going to be about the needs-based grant and the RFP process for that needs-based grant. So next slide, please. And just a little background information about the needs-based grant, which will lead up to the purpose of the RFP process, is that the needs-based grant, or also referred to as the MVP SCF, kind of a tongue twister and a long acronym there. But it is a lottery-based grant, and each year it could vary depending on legislation and what they vote on. But as of the 25-26 school year, those are the maximum awards to LEAs who apply to and possibly receive that grant. And also during the grant process, public school units or PSUs must also, number one, be eligible. Polk County Schools is eligible as a tier 1 district. It also requires a local match of at least 5% as a minimum for Hope County. And it is also an annual application. Usually timeframe that that's due is in October of each year. And so it requires a narrative and some other information that we can gain from architects or from an architectural firm. And it also has to be voted on and approved by the board members or Hope County Board of Education members as well as the county commissioners. Next slide, please. There are several key components that go into the grant. Those components are listed up there, but the budget estimate includes the amount of grant funds that's being requested, the dollar amount, which is the required local match, and the source from where those local funds would come from, and also project or projected expenditures during the fiscal years of the timeline of the grants. The application also requires a proposed timeline, including estimated bid dates, start of construction, as well as projected completion date. And then also, in addition, the application requires a proposed floor plan and a school capacity worksheet. Next slide, please. As part of the review process, once that information is gathered, the grant is completed or the narrative is complete and submitted to DPI, the drawings and specs are prepared by a registered architect and or registered engineer as applicable. And it states that legislation up there that follows that policy or procedure. The school planning design at NCDPI also is required to review it. And also in there are different phases of the construction process in which DPI must also review that information, such as the schematic design, design development, construction documents, and then we are not eligible or we are not supposed to provide any funding towards the construction cost, et cetera, until that information has been approved by DPI. So next slide, please. All right, now leading into the purpose of the RFP process. The purpose of the RFP process would be to work on this grant and help design a proposed K-8 school building. This allows the district to identify qualified architectural and design firms that have the experience and capacity to support the project. It also provides the board members with professional information needed to make future decisions regarding the scope, the cost, the timeline, the design, and the feasibility. It may include information such as firm qualifications, relevant experience, project approach, and company resumes or profiles for review. And the process supports transparency, responsible use of public funds, and alignment with board policy and state procurement requirements. It's also important to note that this step does not approve construction or obligate the district to build the school. Rather, it positions the district to make informed decisions and better prepare for the needs-based grant application process. Next slide, please. Now, the first step is to develop a clear scope of services for the request for price and for the design phase process. The district would issue the appropriate procurement documents such as an RFQ, which is a request for quote, or an RFP, essentially the same thing, which is the request for price, depending on legal and policy requirements. Once responses have been received, we will review submissions from qualified firms. They would be evaluated based on their experience, their qualifications, capacity, school design experience, references, so their overall portfolio. If a firm is selected, the district may then negotiate the cost and contract terms if applicable. And before entering into any contract, the recommendation will be presented to the board for consideration. And any proposed contract would also be reviewed by the board attorney before final approval. And one consideration for the board is that once the district enters into a contract with an architect or design firm, the district may be connected to that firm through the design and the construction process, even if the grant is not ultimately awarded this time around. And next slide, please. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Alderman, go ahead.
Sorry. This K-8, so when we say we're gonna do a K-8, we are formally making the statement that we're doing a elementary, middle school, combined school?
We're not necessarily saying that, we're trying to go into in the future, foreseeable future, trying to go into a contract with a qualified architect, cause that is one of the steps necessary for us to even apply for the grant. We have to be able to have in place, as you know, everybody involved in the high school project, we used to use someone else, which the name I'm not gonna mention, but all of y'all know what company we're talking about. They're not obliged to give us guidance, information, do the work that is required for us to get this done. And so it puts us in this situation that this is the first step to be able to move the application process forward. Because we can't do anything unless we have a what's the proper term? Qualified, licensed architect.
I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, but that said that we were gonna get quotes for a K-8 school, is that correct?
So it depends on, when the application is submitted to DPI, you have to, the worksheets that the architect firm would use to design up the classrooms, classroom size, number of students, that worksheet being submitted with the floor plans, and then also identified within the grant itself what type of school or what size school it would be. So what grade levels is it going to serve, or is it going to be a magnet school, or is it going to be a STEM school or whatnot? Now, does it have to be a K-8 school? It does not. It's whatever the board members would agree upon in order for us to move forward.
Whatever the needs is.
Right, but how much would it, but we would be paying an architect to design a K-8 school. We're asking them to, tell me how that's working, or the attorney.
So, as Chad outlined with the needs-based grant, we do have to provide certain information. I don't think the board has made a decision on what type of school it wants to submit an application for. So I think the purpose of this is to give you information about this is the way we'd like to run the process so that we have all of our ducks in a row. Whenever the board decides what type of facility it wants to pursue construction of, and in support of its grant application, once the board decides, it would then move forward with securing plans from a licensed architect, but it couldn't select a licensed architect without going through the RFQ process.
Right.
Makes
So
sense.
you're saying that we couldn't say, we're gonna apply for the grant saying we want a K-8 school?
The
Is that what
grant
it
has
is?
not been, that is not my
Whatever the
decision.
decision
It's a proposal.
And
It's
who
a
would be
proposal.
making that
It's a
decision?
proposal.
So first we have to get the architect, right?
Yes.
You have to bid on him first, right? No.
You don't
What are
have
we
to,
doing first?
you need to decide what kind of school
Yeah,
you're
exactly, that's
doing.
what I'm saying, all right.
First. And I think the conversation has been a K-8 school, but it's up to the board to decide,
Right.
what do we want, what do we think would best serve our population? And then you would move forward
The
from
architect
there.
needs
Right,
to
so
say-
we should be voting on what type of school we're gonna build before we move forward with the grant process.
Yes.
So that
Yeah,
we're,
because the grant is going, yeah. Okay, answer the question, Chad.
Yes, ma'am. To answer your question, you would need to know what type of school it is in order to move forward with the architect, because the architect would then take that information, let's say if it's a K-8, a 6-8, a pre-K 5, or a traditional 6-12, whatever the grade levels are, the architect would use that information to calculate the worksheet and then be able to use that with the grant.
So we don't do the RFP for architect. We just say, okay, tonight we vote on a K-8, whatever. I'm just saying. So we agree to that, then we just gonna put out there the RFP, okay, we want a K-8 school build, just to see who's gonna take the bid.
Yes, that information would be included with the RFP, so that the design services or the architect firm would know what type of school it would be.
Yeah.
Have they had experience with constructing or designing a school like that, and then be able to submit for our review. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I got it.
But I see what you asking, cause we
Yeah.
got
Because
it
the
on here.
presentation
Right.
says that
But
we're
it said
putting
K-8,
a-
but we haven't, as a board, we haven't voted on
Right.
what type of school. So I guess
It's
this is just for informational.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Informational for future, so we know what the board needs to do because there's a lot of elements involved in this. It's not just an application. We have to be able to have an architect under contract. Obviously, we have to be able to have, we haven't really narrowed down to what school we
You
want,
would have to
but
have a contract with them to provide the drawings. You would have to do the drawings,
that's
but
right.
the drawings help support your grant application to the state, so it's kind of but you guys first need to decide
That's
what
right.
we're doing, what's the capacity need to look like, and then you can move forward with that.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Great questions, Jessica. All right, next item is the transportation record.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I'm super excited to bring to you all a process that has come to us from DPI outlining us potentially receiving a new record. All right, so as I said, the reason for this request is just simply due to NCDPI reaching out to us. Dr. Hunt started this initiative prior to me coming on board. He sparked that again with me when I came on board, really pushing for the need for us to purchase a new tow truck. So I did some due diligence, reached out to DPI. DPI placed us on a waiting list. And actually about a couple of weeks ago, I received a phone call and a follow-up email from Brandon Smith at DPI, giving us that opportunity to proceed. Next slide, please.
Won't he do?
So here, I do want to go over our current record. Our current record that we have is a 1993 international record. It is a single axle.
It's a what?
A single axle record. So if you see back there, that last wheel is only one axle back there. This record does not currently meet standards to tow our current school buses. I did place here just some information as far as school buses that this tow truck was built to pull. Those were 1990s model school buses to the early 2000s model school buses. Those weighed anywhere from 21,000 pounds to 26,000 pounds. Our newer modern day school buses are ranging anywhere between 36,000 pounds to 42,000 pounds. So just to give you all an idea of what that looks like, and I've watched it a few times this school year. When we go to place our buses on this record, we have to tow them from the rear axle. So we have got a bar that backs up to the bumper. That tow truck then lifts that school bus up. The front end of that tow truck starts to lift itself off the ground because it does not have enough weight to support the school bus. So of course I detailed out here some dangers that this causes or pose to personnel and general public. Our personnel that's driving it does not have the ability to stop in time enough to get that tow truck stopped with that wrecker or that school bus on the back end just because of the weight. We also run the risk of detachment. Since we are towing that bus from the rear end, it causes a lot more risk from that end. The school bus can come detached, and then of course from there, what can happen from there. And then there's a lack of control from the bus. So with us towing it from the rear axle, the bus is being pulled along its steer axle. So what it does is it feathers itself down the road. That steer axle is able to guide itself anywhere that it wants to go as it's being pulled. Next slide, please. All right, so we'll talk about some benefits to the new record, and then we'll get to the costs. Benefits of a new record. Of course, we've got reduced towing costs. So here I've listed out towing all the way back from the 2018-2019 school year to this current year, 25-26. We are currently using a tow company, Brownie's Towing, to go out and tow our school buses in, whether that be to the garage or up to Greensboro for repair and costs. Here, as you can see, starting out in 2018-2019 school year, we were at $8,050. 25-26 school year, we were at a cost of $16,145. And just our previous school years, y'all see, we were at $44,300. If you look on the far right side, you can see that we have our invoices and events, and that fluctuates. 24-25 school year was at 61 events, and this past school year we're at 21 events. So just to give some detail and some information in regard to that, our 61 events don't just encompass breakdowns. Our 61 events can encompass accidents or wrecks, breakdowns and things of that sort. This school year, we were lucky to only have one accident that was reportable. That was a driver issue. However, none of those accidents caused the school bus to have to be towed in. We did, however, have 4 engine failures that we had to tow those buses up to Greensboro, and other instances where we had to bring the school bus back into the garage. So that led up to our 21 events and our lower cost this year of $16,145. Now, I will say this, I can't predict what the future looks like, right? We're going to make sure that our buses are safe and sound and that our drivers are doing the things they need to do behind the wheel, but of course, we can't predict what drivers are going to do behind the wheel of their vehicles, nor can we predict if the school bus is going to have a malfunction while it's out on the road. So this 21 events could go up next school year, and we could see a higher cost from that as well. Next slide.
Do we have all of the employees that we need, like fixing on the buses?
So we are currently still lacking 2 mechanic positions. We do have now 2 certified mechanics that are able to go out and do our 30-day inspections on our school buses. So those guys are showing some extreme strength while they're going out there and doing things of that sort.
We're wearing them out?
No, we're not. From what I hear, they enjoy working at the garage, so it's a good thing. And it shows our inspection scores have also dropped this past school year dramatically from what they were when I first came on board. So continuing with our benefits, of course, we are going to increase our operational efficiency. So that's going to be having a more capable or reliable wrecker is going to give us the opportunity to go out and assist our buses when they do have breakdown. Decrease wait times is something big. So in the past month or so, we sat out in McDougal Downs waiting for about 60 to 90 minutes for a tow truck to get to our bus. And then again, once they got there, that was another 30 to 45 minutes for that bus to make it back here to the garage.
Wow.
So our wait times are solely contingent upon when they can get a serviceable wrecker out to our school bus. And that can be from anywhere in the county. So that may not be down 401, that may be out in the Hawkeye side or on the Sandy Grove side, or the West Oak side as well too. We also have a multi-departmental benefit as well too. So our wrecker is not only going to be used for transportation, but this wrecker will be utilized for maintenance and child nutrition. Child nutrition has their commodity trucks, and maintenance also has some bigger vehicles that may need to be towed in. With this wrecker having a boom, and we'll talk about that once we get to the new slide for the wrecker, it gives us the ability to be multifaceted in those areas. Next slide, please. Okay, so the cost. So our record is going to come at a local cost to us of $150,855.15. NCDPI is going to cover half of that, and the way that looks is that NCDPI is going to cover the cost of the truck and the chassis, and Hope County Schools is going to be on the hook for the boom and the body package. And of course, as time goes on, when that tow truck becomes eligible for state replacement, the state will replace that. Something to note is that Transportation Fund 056 is not able to support that. So that's our budget that we utilize for yellow school buses, our salaries, and the maintenance of our yellow school buses. This is going to have to come from a local fund. We did speak to Mrs. Walina. Mrs. Walina did let us know that Fund 8 is going to cover that. And that's going to be a reserve fund that we collect monies in from our activity buses and the cost that is associated with those and those trips as well too. Next slide, please. Okay, so the new record, the 2027 International record with a tandem axle. So tandem means 2. We've got 2 axles on the rear, which gives us more stability as we are towing. As you all can look here from the rear of the tow truck, instead of this tow truck having a metal bar that's positioned to situate itself on the rear bumper, this tow truck has got a boom that will come down, giving us the ability to tow our buses from the front. That boom will come down, it'll wrap around those front tires, and they'll be able to lift it and tow it from the front of the vehicle, which is, of course, less strain on our drivers as they're driving. This, again, will meet the standards for our new school buses down the line. We have less operational upkeep. Of course, with our tow truck right now, we're constantly spending money or putting money into it to keep it up. And actually, right now, it's not functional. It's starting to slip gears, which, of course, causes great risk as it's towing things down the road. Next slide, please. Yes, sir.
This record's already being used in other districts?
So, yes, sir.
Okay.
That actually, there was a photo from Robinson County.
Okay.
We got one of those there.
Thank you.
All right, so before I get into my recommendation, I do want to go over the procurement process of a record and what that looks like. So as I discussed, Dr. Hunt had this conversation prior to me coming on board and sparked it again with me. This could take up to 3 years if we pass up on this opportunity to get this record. 3 years for them to send us the information back out, and then we go back down to the bottom of that waiting list. So that could be any time. We are currently in a little war with Hertford County to get their record, which is a brand new record. They're allowing us the opportunity to take that spot from them to get it over for us in the county. So my recommendation for us, of course, would be to move on approving the $150,000. $150,855.15 for a new record for Hope County Schools. The investment will provide long-term benefits to Hope County Schools, not just the transportation department, but all departments. One thing that I will also note is that we currently do receive assistance if our activity buses broke down in another county at sporting events from other LEAs. This will give us the opportunity and the ability to also extend that favor to them. This school year, we've had about 4 or 5 LEAs that have broken down here. So the only thing that we've been able to provide for them is a bus with myself on it, driving it back to that county. But this would be a nice opportunity for us.
What are we gonna do with our 1993?
So talking about it, we'd probably keep it for a while and use it just to tow smaller vehicles around the yard or anything over to the junkyard side.
To be clear, the 150 is our 50%
Yes, ma'am.
local responsibility, because I think it is local.
So what's the total?
So the total is going to be, for us, $150,855.15.
That's half.
That's half of it.
That's right. What was the total? Like,
300.
300.
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Yes, ma'am. And what they've also let us know as well is that the records are continuously going up in cost. This cost wasn't $150,000 3 or 4 years ago, significantly lower.
We should have to.
Is it gonna be detrimental if we wait until the next meeting to approve this purchase? Because that's the information.
We could, that's a good question. We could lose our spot. We could lose our spot for getting this record. I did have an opportunity to speak to Brandon Smith face to face a few days ago. And there are counties that want our spot for the record.
And we're trying to get someone else's spot also, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we got the money.
And we have one.
Do we have the money this week?
Chairman,
I'm all ears.
I make a motion that we move the transportation record to our action items.
A second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye.
A 2/3 vote, it's been moved to action item.
Do we need to vote on that now or wait until we come to
We'll
action?
put it on the action
Put
item.
it on the action item.
Move it to
We
the
can
action
take a vote
item.
on it.
Thank you, Mr. Heath, for your research.
Great presentation.
Thank you so much.
You left us with no questions.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Great presentation.
Yeah.
Chris, you got that item? All right, next, any more questions? Okay, the next item is the ready code renewal.
Good evening, everyone. So as it's coming up tonight, I am here to provide an overview of our elementary K-5 math curriculum, our view as already as we approach the renewal period for the program. All right, so I want to begin with why we continue to use already as an elementary curriculum. We started with it in 21-22 as a program. And it provides the instruction that our teachers need, the assessment, and also the progress monitoring that we need for our students. It provides everything that we need. It supports data-driven instruction and student growth monitoring. But most importantly, it provides lessons for our teachers, research-based, high-quality lessons that they can pull, which eliminates time teachers are taking to plan and pull lessons. Next slide, please. It's aligned to our North Carolina standards. It provides reliable data and supports for early intervention. And it also gives the teachers, as I said, the high quality lessons and assessments and instructional resources that are needed. Next slide, please. So as we continue to support this work, we know as we support teachers, we also have to support the leaders in our building. So we spend a lot of time really coaching and training our school leaders to be able to go into classrooms and support the instructions that is taking place. So we provided ongoing support to our principals, and we're going to continue to do that, and their leadership team. Every school has participated in already walkthroughs. The great thing about it, the representatives, they're willing to do anything we need in the district. If we call, they respond at no cost most of the time. And so they've come into the district and done walkthroughs with our teachers and even helped train our leadership team. And then also our weekly planning meetings help strengthen the implementation and the instructional consistency across all of our schools. Next slide, please. This year, every year we try to do something different. So this year we incorporate different things with the support of our already representatives. And one of the things that we did this year was a level up competition at our schools. And they provided with us, as you can see, Plory, right there, our mascot, our math coordinator. He wore that mascot to the schools whenever they met their goal. But if 80% of the students were using already, and 80% of the users met at least their 30 minutes per week goal, 10% are above that pass rate, then they got a visit from Chloe at that school. And that was the highlight of the school year, I'm going to tell you. As you can see, even the principals enjoyed it. They took more pictures with Chloe than the kids did, I think. And so that was one of the things we did to try to celebrate and promote so that we can get buy-in from students, from parents, our teachers, and also our leadership team. Next slide, please. Another thing we are doing, and we're going to extend this to this school year coming up because it was a success, but we developed already model teachers. The pride that a teacher feels when you tell them they're a model teacher for something, I think that went a long way this school year. We identify model teachers in every building because every building has great teachers across the district who demonstrated strong implementation. Those teachers had buy-in, they helped with coaching, they helped with providing PD. We set up sessions where teachers from one school was able to go to another school and see them in action and actually plan and work with them. So it was a great start this school year, but we really want to take this to the next level next school year to really identify additional model teachers throughout our district. And our goal is to impact our math achievement across the district. And if we can get buy-in, celebrate and promote people, and they start to see small wins and success, then that's going to transfer to student success. Next slide, please. This slide just shows some data for you guys. It highlights the growth we saw from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. We increased the percentage of students performing on or above grade level, as you can see there. We had a great increase there, but what I'm so proud of is we decreased the amount of students performing significantly below grade level, and this is the district data. And so while there is still work to do, as you can see, growth is occurring, and we're so proud of that. Next slide, please. So as we talk about the benefits, already helps us to identify students' needs early. Not only does it identify those needs, it groups the students and it gives the teachers the lesson to help support the students in those areas. It supports that targeted small group instruction, and teachers appreciate the consistency and ready-to-use instructional resources. There are a lot of benefits. One thing that we're working with our teachers on, because sometimes when you give something and it's easy there, we still have to dive into it, plan, internalize the lessons, and make sure we understand the content before teaching. And that is something that we're working on. But the fact that we have these ready-to-use lessons, ready to go, has been such a huge benefit to us and our teachers. Next slide, please. So as we talk about next steps, we're recommending that we continue to use already math for the 26-27 school year. Next year, our focus is going to be a deeper dive into data across the board, top down, and coaching support. Coaching is our goal for next year. There's nothing like being in a classroom with teachers, working alongside them to coach. We did a survey to teachers, and the highest comment was they want people in their classrooms modeling for them and showing them what to do. And so that is going to be our goal for next school year. And iReady just helps us move it to the next level as it provides the content and lessons and and assessments and everything, we need to take it to the next level. We want to continue building on the progress we've made across the district. Next slide, please. Any questions? Thank you.
Any questions?
How often do the team come and do walkthroughs at school?
So it depends. We can get them, we've done them twice a year. And they're willing to come more. The issue is pulling principals out of their building, because what we like to do, if we do a walkthrough at one school, we like to invite other principals because they benefit from that. But they're willing to come as often as we need them, honestly. We've been doing it twice a year, though, trying to touch all of our schools twice a year.
So what time of the year do they come? Like,
We did one, the beginning of the year, I think it was October, and then around March.
What is an example of them charging anything? Because you said, they rarely charge.
Yes, they rarely do. Like, even for the incentives, they gave us that free. They took donuts to the school at the end of the year for students. They're excellent with that. If they charge for anything, it's the PD package that comes along with it. Most times we have 2 quarterly meetings with them a year where they sit with us as a district team and go over data and talk about supports. And they always ask, what do you guys need to make it successful? And 9 times out of 10, if we ask, they try their best to provide it for us and accommodate. They even try to bring us food whenever we're meeting. I was like, you don't have to do all that, but you guys know I love to eat. But I'm like, you don't have to do that.
so how much do they charge, basically? Yeah. How much?
So if they're doing PD, I would have to fact check that. They gave us a PD budget of, I think it was about $9,000. And that included, I think, 8 visits, an entire day for us. But I could verify that number for you.
Is that the professional learning on the quote?
Yes,
It was $9,600.
yes.
What next question?
But they normally remove that for us. That's included in there. But once we go through the process, they'll take that part away from us also if it's not needed on there. So that is something that they will, just working with the representatives, she'll remove for us off of there, that professional learning.
The I-ready model teachers, do each school have one teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
Each school has one teacher, and we're working to identify more at schools. They're great teachers, but they're so nervous when people come into their classrooms and observing them, and they're like, can the teacher just come in and you guys not come in with them? And I understand that also, right? So we're working through those things, but right now we have one identified at every school.
Can I have a name?
Yes, definitely.
So Dr. Hammonds, for your data, how often do you,
Right.
What? That you're speaking into existence?
okay, quit distracting me. So how often do you do your diagnostic data?
3 times a year, we do a VOY, MOY, and EOY. But the kids also use, and that was the goal of the employee visit, the incentives. They use the platform, and we check that data frequently in order to provide the incentive for them. So our district math person, he checks it, he follows up with the school, and he'll send them an email. Gloria's coming to your school because you guys did amazing. And that happens more than 3 times a year. But it's 3 times a year for the diagnostic.
Okay, because I like how it ended up being.
Any more questions?
Yes, I have a question. During the presentation, it said 80% of users were completing 30 minutes per week. By users, I mean we have 80% of our teachers are using it 30 minutes per week.
The students, the time they spend on the program. And they provided us a detailed report. They don't recommend, they give us a recommended time that students are supposed to be on there. Some of our schools, you can tell that they're really pushing it because students are on there all the time. Hawkeye Elementary School is one of our schools. They push I-Ready, and you can see it in their scores. She lives by I-Ready, but it's the student use, how much the time the student is spending on there. And it's just an incentive for them.
Is she one of the people that's gonna help other principals across the
She
district?
has been already.
Okay.
So I think she started last year or the year before last. They started gathering together and they would go to her school and meet with her. And even she would show data reports and do different things, but she started that already.
That's good.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions? No more questions?
Thank you.
Okay, next item is the EC contracts.
And I don't think, I spoke with Cara, she was not able to come, but these contracts were contracts that were not presented for information, but renewal service agreements from last year. There are 3 that are being presented just for information because they came back with vendor signatures. They'll come on for approval at the July board meeting. But it's All American Interpreters, Viata Home Health, and Pediatric Services of America, which is called Aviana, but there are renewal agreements for the district.
Do we have any questions for Grace?
No.
All right, next item is the Hope County Schools Facility Planning.
Again.
Again. Seems like I have multiple at every board meeting. All right, so this is more about facility fees and the process to request permission to rent a facility. This is for the upcoming school year for 26-27. Next slide, please. So just give you a background about the way the process was conducted in the past, and then we'll lead into the way the process will be conducted in the future, as well as with updated fees. Historically, the process has been paper pencil, if you will. So there was a carbon copy that the requester would complete. The requester would then meet with the administrator at the school, and the administrator essentially would either wise approve or deny the request. If the request was approved, then the administrator was also to assign the number of custodians and the number of school resource officers to the event that the requester was requesting. And on the application, it also had a place for the person to put down the reason for the request, the date, time, the location. So as an example, Hope County High School, McDonald Gym, Hope County High School Media Center, the football field, whatever it may be. And then part of that process too, and it's covered in, I think, Board Policy 5030, is that we had the responsibility of ensuring that the person also had adequate insurance coverage. And that would be up to $1 million for each claim made that requester in case there was damage or some type of incident that occurred to the facility or the patrons that were using it at the time. And then part of that also had to do with payment. So if the request was approved, a lot of times what was happening was payment was being submitted to the school level, and then there were some times when it was being submitted here at the central office. So that process led into some issues because it wasn't streamlined. Some of it that came up and issues that we encountered was that we didn't receive information in a timely manner. So as an example, somebody might have showed up on Friday wanting to rent the facility on Saturday, but we didn't have time to get the coverage, but it was still allowed to be done. And then by us, when I say us, meaning central office, if central office didn't collect the amount that was owed by the requester, if we didn't have the ability to pay for the SROs or the custodians at that time frame from the funds that were to be collected, then central office may have been in a situation where we had to cover those funds. And then also we ran into where certificates of insurance wasn't being submitted, or the requesters, or once it was approved, they didn't have the adequate coverage. And also too, that fees were being waived for requesters. So we're trying to streamline some of this information. So you can go to the next slide, please. The new process is an electronic process. So available via website, the requester can go on there and it has a step-by-step guide for that requester to use, as well as pricing, and we'll move into that here in a few minutes. But essentially, just a breakdown of how that works, the requester completes it electronically, and once they hit submit, the requester receives an email with the application on it currently, or they would receive that application, but also to the application of whatever school is being selected, that person or requested, that administrator is notified as well. The requester can print out that PDF form that they receive a copy of, go to the school with it, meet with the principal to talk about it, and then the principal would go through and identify the number of custodians needed, the number of SROs needed at the time, and with coordinating or collaborating with the sheriff's department, essentially it comes down to about one school resource officer per 100 participants. and somewhat similar for custodian as well. So then the fees would be identified to those persons. The requester would bring the form over to central office, or it would be emailed over to central office. Finance department would get a copy of that. They would look at that, determine the fees. Is it adequate? Yes or no? Is it correct coverage for custodians, correct coverage for, the school resource officer? What are the hours, and be able to calculate it up by an hourly basis for the fees that are due. And then also the requester is responsible for submitting the certificate of insurance over to central office, to the finance department, before it is approved at the finance or at the central office level. Once we have that information, the finance office is able to check off on it, then that information goes over to the superintendent for his approval or denial. So it kind of streamlines everything, and the process to do this correctly would be to have it submitted within a 2-week notice prior to, so that we have time for planning for the custodians to be on staff as well as the school resource officers.
And the 2-week notice, that's gonna be posted on the website so they know that I can get the gym tomorrow.
Yes, sir. And it's also in a copy of the agreement that they received.
Got it.
So let me ask you something. So you gave an example, in your presentation earlier that, for instance, and I think it was an example of what had happened before, like someone came on a Friday, and they got,
On a Saturday.
yeah,
Right.
for Saturday. Have you ever experienced that?
I have experience where there's been very short turnaround. Yes, ma'am.
But why would we do it?
Well, yeah.
What's supposed to be done?
And if I may, especially like for funerals, people will come and if they go to the school and then it's not sent over here to us. We've had people come and go to, say, for example, Turlington, the principal will sign off on it, it never got to us in time. The funeral happened, we never got paid, and we still had to pay the custodian.
So I think it just determines the different type of events that it may have been. I hate to say it, but maybe a relationship piece, or it just comes down to poor logistics.
So basically, what the district is doing is that they're consolidating the application process at the district level, so therefore, there's no miscommunication. Cause say, Hawkeye Sand, decided to rent a room and then it never got to us, and then somebody got paid and lost revenue, basically.
Correct.
Nobody got
That's
paid.
part of it, yes. sir.
Okay,
Because before the superintendent sees it and reviews it and approves it or denies it, it should have the requester signature on it, it should have the principal signature on it, as well as the finance signature. So that's 3 different signatures that we know that we need to look for before Dr. Spills could even, before I would even present it to him for his review.
And the person that's wanting to rent it, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They are responsible for signing it. As well.
Go ahead.
so, thank you. So my question is, I mean, if you don't have electronic process, that means there's gonna be some legwork, so are we using DocuSign to have these signatures done?
Well,
Because if you're having to walk or drive to, say, Rockfish,
So that was the process that I explained if we were using a Google Forms. Now, if we're using Droplet, which is something similar to DocuSign, it becomes more streamlined. So the requester can sign off on it electronically, then boom, it goes over to the
Okay.
principal, so on and so forth.
Got it. So it's an easy process then, not a
Yes, sir. And then,
legwork.
and then the turnaround on that is that once, because everything is being signed electronically, that once it gets over to the finance office and it lists an email address for the requester as well as a contact phone number, we're able to call them and inform that person, the requester, of the amount that's owed, as well as we now have it, we're reviewing it, we need your certificate of insurance before we can move forward.
Do we upload the certificate of insurance, or what do we, everything is, on?
I think after talking with Mr. French, Droplet does have that ability so that the requester can go back in and do that.
Right on.
So have we ever got, how do I wanna ask this question? Have somebody never paid and we had the district had to end up in?
I'm sure they,
That's what they're saying. Funerals.
yeah, Turlington.
Do you know?
But they're supposed to have fun. So he dropped the ball.
Since I've been helping, it's been 2 times.
2 times.
2 times, yeah. But we've also had people who have done things underhandedly or just went and got the building and then slipped the custodian something, but it wasn't
Hello.
the correct pay. So, or either Dr.
They
Spell
still
doesn't know
working?
they're in the building, which is a liability to us.
Mm.
Next slide, please.
Dr. Hunt,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
thinking, policy committee chair. Probably need to make sure that that's in black and white. Protect the district and the schools too. So if there is a violation, we have it in black and white to where, you know,
The last time you updated policy 5030 was in December of 2025, so this is
So
a
we
more
didn't know all
recent.
it is.
but this is more recent
Policy,
information, so.
But the way this is been worked with Chad to draft, what should go, what information do you need if someone's applying to use the facility? And what does that agreement, if they're using the facility, look like, which I think is what Chad is gonna talk
Okay.
about next.
Right
You
on.
say December 2025.
Is when you updated your policy, yes.
Okay,
We can make an amendment.
so the bottom line is we're gonna have to bring it back up for revision. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Alright, and working through this process with Grace, and it's really been about a year now with all of this information. Our previous process missed a lot of information in it, right? So with doing this and revamping it, making edits to it, we were able to include some of that important information on the notice that the requester receives. Such as now it states, or it will state, that users will be responsible for any damage caused by or resulting from the use of school facilities, property, or equipment. And that's where that certificate of insurance comes in for them, right? The school system reserves the rights to postpone or cancel. So as an example, that if we can't, because what we want to do and make sure that we're doing is using a custodian that's assigned to that building. And the reason for that is because that custodian is a key holder, number one, but also they have access to the alarm. And they're familiar with the facility and know where things are in case they've got to clean something up, et cetera. So you going back to that example that I mentioned earlier, somebody requested on a Friday, then they turn around and use it on a Saturday. Well, if we can't reserve a custodian for that Saturday, then we have the right to postpone that or not even approve it at all before it comes up to the central office.
Well, that shouldn't happen anyway, right? According to the
Should not be happening.
But it did.
So we're not gonna do that.
Exactly.
And I kind of, to be honest with you, I understand what you're saying about the custodian being working at that school. I do understand that, but there may be some exceptions to the rule because if a person may really need that building and the custodian can't work. And most of the time they work together, they collaborate. So I don't see the fact that we should just have that in stone, that that custodian got to be that working.
And on those case-by-case scenarios, we do try to work with those individuals. I can think of times when Mr. Purcell has filled in. I can think of times when Mr. Manning has filled in. So there are times when we do take that into consideration. Also going into some things that was left out is that now we can move from a daily rate to an hourly rate. And one of the things that were happening in the past has been that a person comes and they rent the facility, but let's say they're gonna have it from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. But they may show up at 7 a.m. and not leave until 1 p.m. because of setup and takedown, right? Cleaning up. But on the application, they didn't put those time frames, those 2 extra hours. Custodians are getting calls early in the morning to come, like, where are you at? You gotta come open up. And then they end up having to stay over an extra hour in the afternoon as well, so it's going into their time. But then the requester may not feel that it was their responsibility to pay for those 2 extra times. Situations that we ran into. I mentioned earlier about the cancellation process. We also mentioned in there specifically about the Hope County Schools Board Policy 5030, and of course, the certificate of insurance that I mentioned earlier. And next slide, please. And rate changes. So you heard me mention earlier that it was X amount, it was a set flat rate per day, moving over to an hourly fee. And these, you can see, are those hourly fees, and we did take into consideration the type of utilities that were being used when renting out these specific areas. So we tried to be considerate of everything that was being involved. And you can do the next slide, please.
Hold on a second. When I first saw, I never got to see this, thing, but parking lot, $50 per day?
I did have a question about that too. So if they rent the gym, do they also have to rent the parking lot?
No.
Okay, that's good.
There have been specific requests where just the parking lot itself is being requested to be used. I can give you an example. The Walk to Emmaus used Sandy Grove Elementary School's parking lot previously, but we still had to call a custodian to come and open and close the parking lot because that one's gated. And then if there is a parking lot that has lights and the lights are being used, so we're taking in the utility fees in that and as part of the consideration as well.
So the playground, I often see, and I guess it's, unless we don't have to do this with grounds, I often see, people playing like golf and things on like Don Steed grounds. You know,
You're talking about the field beside?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
which is out, so we're not charging for that, they can play.
Yeah, we haven't charged for that. They've been allowed to come out. I give you another example, like, over at Sandy Grove Middle School and Sandy Grove Elementary School, the track, generally over the weekends or after school hours, community members come and they walk around the track. However, so the difference would be, like, let's say somebody's gonna rent out for a birthday party over at Rockfish Oak Elementary School, because we've had this scenario come up. They wanted to rent the multi-purpose room and be able to take those children out or those participants over to the playground. So in situations like that, that's where those fees come in.
So they will rent the multi-purpose room and then they rent the playground
Yes,
too,
ma'am.
there. Per hour.
So we went from day to per hour.
Yes, ma'am.
So we charging more than the county.
Whenever we get together to look at this policy, I think we need to look at the numbers again. When we get together and revise this policy, I think we need to look at the numbers per hour again. I think that's just a little too steep for the community in which we live. We say we wanna actually be partners with the community, but we charging them $75 an hour. I mean.
And $100.
I understand things are going up, but I think as a board, we need to kind of come together and look at the rate changes.
I understand the cost because we're not getting enough funds, capital outlay funds, to even maintain our buildings as is. And if we let the community, if we let people come in and tear up if they're using it, they're not trying to tear it, but the more you use something, the more it's gonna deteriorate. So I think that's the reason these prices have.
I'm not trying to be funny or whatever, but we don't have the best facilities as it is. And most of the time when I see people, I have been at events where people use the facilities and they need it and better than when they got there. So me personally, I think $75 an hour to use an auditorium in our community,
I feel the same way, and I mean, I do know we need to charge something, I'm not ignorant to that, but, the county doesn't, the county charges a flat rate. We're in this county, I think we should, do our due diligence. I don't know where these prices came from, did y'all do any research and
We
look
did,
at
yes,
other schools, which schools?
We looked at, there was a list, Robinson County, Scott, we looked at all the surrounding counties.
You don't look at Robinson County.
I have a problem with us, we always looking at other counties.
Yeah.
I got a problem with that. I mean, at some things, yeah, but it's just, I just say, Chairman, whenever we, look at this, I think we need to come up
Cause
with.
then you all need to include us whenever y'all get this.
People start
When
coming
people
to us.
started asking, and Rosa brought it to my attention, I'm like, no, it's not like that, but it's like that. So I think things like this, we should be aware. We should have been included Cause, I mean,
Because people are coming to us.
Yes.
And we was like, no, that's not right.
Well, let's be clear about that, though, now, this was posted in the September odds and ends.
Yeah, I think I don't think this kind of stuff need to be in the odds and ends. I think this needs to be discussion.
But the odds and ends are about discussion.
No, I think we need to come to the table like we are now. I don't think it need to be in, an email, an odds and ends. I think it needs to be discussed.
I do agree with all of you. There's a lot to unpack here. Odds and ends, I know that I read them, and when I raise an eyebrow, I'll shoot an email, or I even consult with Angela when we have the setting of the agenda, and we put it on for an information item. Such was the case when it was brought to my attention. And such was the case that according to the policy, the board is supposed to approve this. Okay, so that's one thing. I also am in disagreement with the pricing, but not join the majority here. I don't think we charge enough because I don't know if you all know, but the 7.5%, we're gonna get a 7.5 increase on the electricity alone. And when you're renting, as an example, an auditorium for $75 and you got every light on, I can tell you that I feel the pain because I'm paying electricity myself too, and I feel the pain. I can't even imagine how much money we're paying for all these lights right now. If you were to rent this room for an hour, and if you did it, really did the work to see how much this room is expending on electricity. Unfortunately, not every room has a meter to determine, but I'm pretty sure if we really wanted to do justice for both entities, the district and the community, a proper research, some survey, something to really determine how much we really need to pay. You know, here's the thing, you pay $150 to rent the auditorium for the whole day. We know that because all of us have had events. We want to ask to go in there early to set up, if there's tables or whatever. And so $150, so by the time you go there and start using the room as an example to set up, you got power on, electricity on. So I understand that there's some members of the community think there might be too much, but I tell you what, I have a solution. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody in any kind of way, but we're all feeling the pinch. If you think this is bad, go to a hotel building, to a business, and ask to rent the conference room to see. You're gonna be shocked if you think $75 is a lot.
That's a whole,
Public school.
not to disrespect you, Chairman.
No, not at all.
And I understand what you're saying, but we are a community.
I understand that.
And I don't know anybody that probably would take Tarleton Auditorium and use it more than an hour, 2 hours, at least when they have homegoing services. It's not that. And I mean, we gotta meet people. Some of these people don't really have nowhere to go. They pay taxes. We say we wanna be partners with people. This is an opportunity. I don't think it's gonna break the bank for us. $75 an hour.
But if they're only using it for 2 hours, it's only a $25 increase based on what you just said.
I just use that number. I just use that number of hours, but I'm saying that $75 an hour, I don't.
I do have one question just for clarification.
Like I said, hold on, let's not have all different conversations here.
I just have one actual.
Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
Does this hourly rate include, and I'm sorry if you already said this, does it include the custodian fees or any other fees?
No.
Okay, is it addition to?
Just keep in mind here, we're not in the business of losing money. We should not be in the business of losing money. Because if we do this incorrectly, we lose money because we're having to pay electric bills higher. It's gonna get higher, 7.5. we've already been warned about it, so that's just an example. But at the end of the day, you gotta keep this in mind, what the majority, the board wants, that's what's gonna be. That's the bottom line. So, does anybody have any more comments, concerns, questions?
I think Kevin's making a motion.
This is an information.
Yeah, when we get back, we'll talk about the rate change.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's, does the board agree that we should bring this back to the policy committee to address, so our next policy committee is in July, so if we can have some solid information to present to the policy committee, a group to, and it might take one or two more feedbacks to get this the way it needs to be.
I'm sure that information will be, sir.
Okay. And meanwhile, my question is a resident of Hope County, how are we gonna be charging people until this is fixed? That's my question. Because if I'm not mistaken, this information had been in the website since January. We've been charging since January to,
But that was without the board's consent.
that is true. However, regardless whether the board approved it or not,
It's not regardless.
we were charging this amount.
Well, if it was there, then we gotta do what was there.
If a contract is already signed, I'm sorry, Ms. Blue, I'm sorry. If a contract was already signed and all that stuff for the facilities, I guess we need to just go forth with it, but at this point, just don't do any more until they come back.
Understood, yes, ma'am.
So again, my question is, what is the district gonna charge?
What's on the
Oh my God,
website?
I just.
Okay, well, I just wanna make sure we're clear on that. It could be, it could be, but not if we're gonna bring it to the committee, the policy committee. If we bring that to the policy committee, it ain't gonna be an action item on. Or we could, or we could address this policy specifically as soon as the district has all the pertinent information so we can make a decision. Because really, this is one of these things that we need to get it approved so we can be legit.
Right.
So if,
I will say that since learning that it should have came to the board for approval before it was posted or prior to being posted, we have taken that down off the website, so it's no longer available right now.
Okay.
So we can put a hold on any facility rentals until it's agreed upon by.
so, it's my understanding that we're not renting any buildings until further notice. Is that what I just heard?
We can put that out, yes. sir.
Okay.
We have two people who have two adult dates coming up. We will have to honor those.
Okay, that's fine.
And
Could we not just follow what we already
And then
have?
Madam
until-
Chair,
that's what I thought, that's what I
Because, I mean,
said.
some people are not gonna balk at that.
Right.
Yeah.
So why stop them?
I will say that Manor Church has been
East
using
Oak-
the East Oak Middle School for a number of years now. So I would, even though we're putting a pause on this, they may not have anywhere to go to on such short notice.
No, we're not talking, don't they have a contract? So we can't break the contract. They have to continue to come.
So just.
So,
that being known.
again, there's a lot to unpack here, so just so the board is in the same sheet of music here, okay, so we all agreed to keep the prices as they are until, we meet again on this specific policy, to make sure that, we all agreed on the prices and whatever is, outstanding out there right now, like the Manor Church, we will continue to do business with them, so there's no interruption with their services. Does the board agree to that?
Say that again?
We're gonna go with these prices, that's been advertised right now.
Since January.
Until we have, until we meet again in July to change it. So that we don't completely block people from using these facilities. I would also suggest we consider, special pricing for funerals because we know that that's a community need and it's, an existing use at Turlington traditionally.
And that's something we can
If
address.
the board is gonna do that, a request that we move it to action and then vote on it when we get to the action items to have, and we can work on the language that the prices as posted or as were posted will continue until the board issues new rates, but once the board issues new rates, these prices will change. If that makes sense. So we'd have to move it to action, and then you guys would have to take a vote, and your motion would have to be as such that for the time being until the
So-
board
I make a
makes
motion that we move this topic to an action item. Second.
All right, so just to be clear, there's a motion on the floor to move information item Hope County Schools Facilities Planning to an action item. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, move. That's gonna be item number 6. Okay, the next, do we have any more questions, comments? Okay, the next item is the Hope County Schools Beginning Teacher Support 5-year Plan 2026-2031.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm here to present the beginning teacher support plan for 2026-2031, the next 5 years. I gave to you this evening a blue folder that states, it say BT Plan 2026-31 as the presentation and the plan inside. As we begin to talk about Hope County Schools beginning teachers, and the purpose of that, it is to support, develop, and retain, build confidence, and grow our beginning teachers when they take this critical transition into the education arena of the education professional. That is the purpose of the beginning teacher support plan. And we also want to make sure that we just don't want our BTs to begin their career at Hope County Schools. We want to make sure that they grow with us as an entire school community, that we retain our beginning teachers. Hope County Schools Beginning Teacher Program, which is BTSP, provides a comprehensive induction and professional development program to support our beginning teachers. And through that, we have 3 individuals who help our beginning teachers along with the schools to provide support. We have 2 full-time personnel support coordinators, Ms. Amber Dowse, she's here, you stand there, right here. Miss Yolanda McDonald. And also we have a full-time licensed specialist, Miss Amy Godwin. They're here to support me. And so through HR, we do monitor our schools and our BTs. We have a total of this past school year of 111 BTs. Of those BT1s, we have 44, BT2s, 32, and we graduated in May, BTs 3, 35 graduated.
All right.
Okay, next slide, please. Under policy Teacher Ed 016, under the state board, the BT program is a 3-year induction program for beginning teachers, 1, 2, and 3. Again, with 3 years less than 3 years of experience, regardless of their licensure pathway. So regardless if they go through alternate pathway, they're still a BT if they have less than 3 years of experience. Also with that, they are required to have new teacher orientation, which that would be August 10th through 11th of this school year. Ongoing professional development, the ladies in the back provide BT, professional development training for our BTs throughout the school year. They also assigned a trained mentor, and we'll talk about those mentors later in the presentation. Observation and feedback, support with their licensure, and so they can be for professional growth. And also they're required to participate in our education preparation program with those surveys. Next slide, please. The mentor selection and training. So with mentors, our schools do have mentors based on the number of BTs that's in their building. And in order to be a BT, you have to be rated at least proficient or higher on their summative. rated proficient on their standards 1 and 4. Also, they cannot be a BT themselves. And teachers, they would have to have some type of, teachers without evaluation data for 2 or more consecutive years are not eligible. Meaning that they have to have some in-class EOC, EOG, or EVOS data. Next slide. NESIS of North Carolina Educator Effectiveness System is our system that we have across the state that we use to evaluate all certified staff. And there's a cycle for that, which is step 1, training and orientation. The first 10 days of school, all certified staff have to have training and orientation for the for training on the evaluation process, which is NESIS. Step 2, they have to complete their self-assessment, which is their goal setting and their pre-conference with their administrator or their supervisor. Step 3, they have to go through the observation cycle, meaning that they go through, either they're gonna have it with their principal or supervisor or a peer. And then the last step, they're gonna have their summative and review their end of the year goal setting. Okay? Also with that, observations must be due when they go through step 3. When they conduct or the supervisor, talking about as a teacher, do their observation, it must be done for that post-conference, must be within 10 days of completion of that observation. Next slide, please. So beginning teachers' records and program evaluation in HR, we do maintain a file for them, and it includes these documentations for those individuals to ensure that they complete the 3 years of the program. And then that information is shared for them to get their license. In addition to that, our BT plan, our BT coordinators work with other districts, and then we have a peer review process that is conducted. And this year, the county that was assigned to us is Robinson Public Schools of Robinson County. Next slide, please. Again, like I stated at the beginning, they do have to do, which is a recent graduate survey. First year teachers who completed an educator preparation program, or EPP, are required to complete this particular survey. In addition to that, their principals completed as well. And this survey is just asking them how did they perform or how did they feel about being a beginning teachers. And it must be completed at the end of their first year, and it is a requirement for them to complete the survey from DPI. Next slide. Any questions?
How long we been doing this? I know we've had beginning teachers. How long we've been in this program?
The beginning teacher program, since they started the beginning teacher program.
Any more questions? No? All right, the next item is the vacancy report.
That's me again.
You're in competition with Dr.
Again, I'm presenting you tonight the vacancy report. As of today, we have, well, as of June the 5th, 2026, certified vacancies 55. We still are working, trying to reduce mainly the positions are our EC teachers that we're still trying to hire for. And then our classified vacancies, we have a total of 31, which is a total of 86 vacancies for the entire district.
Any questions? No questions, okay. All right, next area is the actions items. The first item is the alternative accountability model 2026-2027. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the alternative accountability model 2026-2027.
Second.
Okay, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against? All right, it passes. The next item is the EC contracts.
Make a motion that we approve the EC contract.
Second.
Okay, those in favor say aye. Aye. Was I the only one to say aye?
Everybody say it out loud.
Those again? Okay, it passes. I got my bag here on your side, that's why.
You said.
All right, next item is the budget amendment number 3.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the budget amendment number 3.
Second.
All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, I heard that clear. Those against? All right, it passes. Number 4, surplus property disposal.
Chairman, I'd like to also making a motion that we approve the surplus property disposal.
Second.
Okay, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, and those against? Okay, it passes. And number 5, transportation record.
I don't know about that. Now I'm just kidding.
I'll make a motion that we purchase the record.
I second.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, those against? Okay, it passes. And the last item, Whole County Schools facility planning for the current prices to stay on the website until we meet again on it.
I make a motion that we maintain our current facilities pricing until we meet in July.
Second.
Those in favors?
Aye.
Those against? All right, it passes. All right, now if I can get somebody to read the closed session.
Yeah.
Chairman, I make a motion that we go into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A, 1, 3, and 6 to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel and student matters, to consider matters relating to initial employment of individual employees, and to consult with the board's attorney to preserve the attorney-client privilege.
Second.
All right, those in favor? Aye. All right, we can take a 5-minute break.